Alright guys, I am ready when they are. These guys have both played in the BBB a couple of times, and I will tell you guys all about it because the lovely Wingant actually made an amazing stat sheet for me of all the performances that these guys have had in the Big Brain Bouts. FoxeR is 2-1. He won twice against the Protoss. He lost against the Zerg. He lost against Spacey Macy a little while ago, but that obviously wasn't the previous patch. Fjant is actually, historically, the worst performing player in the Big Brain Bouts. Now, I did give him a lot of very tough opponents. Very often, like, I saw him do well, and then I immediately gave him someone tough because I didn't want people to think that I'm playing favorites for the Team Roddy kits. I think this one is tough as well, but I also think it's doable. I think there was only one best of 5 that I kind of expected Fjant to win, and that was the one against Cats. But Cats brought out some amazing builds on that night, and nothing but praises and kudos for that performance of Cats. Tonight is not going to be easy, but Fjant is really better than ever before. He has been doing great on the ladder. He got ultra close to 6k MMR last week, and that's the main reason why I decided to give him an invite. That's what the Big Brain Bouts to me is all about. People that are doing their best, playing in a lot of tournaments, pushing their luck on the ladder. And Fjant has been performing better than he's done throughout his entire career. So I thought it was time for another opportunity in the Big Brain Bouts. And here we are.
Let's get it on.
Round 1, fight!
In the top left side, we are looking at the main base of our Swedish Zerg. He's been going hard because he wants to qualify for the ESL Winter Championships Europe Regionals. Team Roddy's very own Fjant. And whenever we talk about Fjant, we always have to give a lot of love to Jacob. Jacob is a very passionate individual from the Czech Republic who often makes it to Home Story Cup. And once he heard about Team Roddy, he said, hey, that's awesome. Can I help? And basically, when he reached out, I said, like, well, there is this Swedish kid that I think deserves a bit of love. And it's basically all been Jacob supporting this young man. So all the love to Jacob. In the bottom right side, we are looking at the main base of the American Terran player. I think he's teamless because he's just on a community team. Is FoxeR representing any team? Is a 4th appearance in the Big Brain Bouts. First time ever that I see him on this patch. It is FoxeR. I think that was the only guy he had to timeout port. I don't know. I think everybody else was perfectly fine and nice. This guy just joined and started talking a big game. Apparently he's 5,200 MMR on the Korean server, so he would get absolutely destroyed by the guys that we just watched. What I often try to tell you guys as well, and I think almost all of you guys know, is that when you have two guys that are very evenly matched, sometimes the games can get very messy and sloppy. Because they are very close to each other in skill, so they'll push each other to the limit, and then eventually the mistakes can start piling up. I think that's pretty obvious. I think everybody that plays a lot of StarCraft understands that. It's very easy to only look at the mistakes and think people play bad, but yeah, players that are closely matched with one another are going to force out a lot of mistakes from the other guy. I am sure that guy is worse couple, so can let it go. That guy was just being mean. We have an eBay block into a Reaper. That's going to make it hard for Fjant to expand. When I asked Fjant to play, he wasn't totally feeling it. He said, I'm really struggling on the new patch so far. I said, Fjant, isn't it better to struggle now than in the ESL Winter Qualifiers? I think this is a good moment to test yourself. And obviously display a hard series. A series that you're going to have to work for. You're going to have to dig deep. This is where you can test yourself. Hello, Coco. How is Queen Coco doing on the Friday night? And more importantly, on the new maps and the new patch. How's the flower, Coco? Still shining? You're having the time of your life? Proxy Void Ray? Have you tried Tempest already, Coco? Because a lot of people say that Proxy Tempest is good now. I haven't tried it yet myself, but that seems like a build that I think you would enjoy. The first Reapers and Cyclones have made it to the other side of the map. Fjant is going to try to at least distract FoxeR a little with a few Zerglings. He's obviously not going to kill that depot, but what he does do is force these units to turn around, and that's obviously already nice for him. Most importantly for Fjant is obviously not bleeding out queens early. We saw, even at the highest level, even Serral sometimes lose queens very quickly against these Cyclones. So it is super important that you're careful until you have a decent amount of links. We have 23 links now. That should be enough to get a nice little surround. It will really all come down to the engagement. I like how decisive Fjant is here, guys. This is going to go for it immediately. Gets 3 out of 4 Hellions real quick. And now might be able to get a Cyclone. You don't want to over-chase, though. Because once you chase off creep, that's where the Cyclone can really shine, especially against the queens. Started off very good for Fjant, then I think he pushed his luck a little bit and he chased a little too far off. Macro is looking pretty decent though. It's hard to spread creep, I guess, against these openings, but I think Fjant is doing a good job with the macro. It is important now that he stops losing a couple of Zerglings at a time. Because obviously with all the links that we produce, we're not producing drones, and then the Zerg economy is not growing. A Roach One and a Bailing Nest going down at the same time. Let's see what you guys are voting for. It's pretty close in the prediction. Honestly, this is a tough one for me. Yeah, I don't know. I want to say Fjant, but it is the new patch, and I know he's been struggling a little bit with Terran. FoxeR is good. Had a rough series against Spacey Macy a while ago. I don't know. I think I would go for Fjant, but not because I have a very strong feeling about it, but a bit of Team Roddy bias. Queens are very low in HP, but so far the micro is good. Can we save those queens though? We have a lot of Zerglings still on the other side of the map. They are finally going to make their way home. Another queen falls. That is a sexy grenade, but I do still think that the link count here should be high enough to get a proper cleanup. That's the end of the Hellions, the end of the Cyclone. I guess it's not too bad, eh? We do need to rebuild our queens. One thing that I have spoken to Fjant quite a few times about is that there were a lot of games in the past where he would look very good in the first 7-8 minutes, but then once a couple of trades went down, he would just kind of forget about his queens. He would have barely any queens injecting. He would hotkey all of his queens to the front. And obviously that means that you're going to start floating money. If you have no queens injecting in the main, in the natural, you're going to be in a bit of trouble. Fjant does not feel that he can save this hatchery, as he did not have any creep connecting these bases. That's obviously never a good place to be in as a Zerg. The supply doesn't look too bad for Fjant, but losing your 4th hatchery like that is rough. Kind of waiting for Bailing speed. FoxeR is going to try to go full liquid claim on us, and that's beautiful micro on the side of FoxeR. Gutting down all these slow Bailings. Maybe it would have been better for Fjant not to send the Bailings forward at all. FoxeR with some great target fire there is also just kind of standing his ground here. Gets 1 or 2 of the roaches. Good micro by FoxeR, that's for sure. 20 Marines, 2 tanks, and 3 medevacs making their way to the other side of the map. Mixu is wondering if Fjant is blind countering mech. Well, Fjant hasn't scouted a whole lot. And with... yeah, these drones are going to be in some trouble too. This is painful, guys. This is all very painful for Fjanty boys. He's having a very hard time establishing a 4th base. That is not a cancel, but a straight up kill. FoxeR is getting W after W right now here in Game 1 on Oceanborn. Seems very hard for Zerg to maybe spread creep properly here and get up to 4 bases. Amazing performance by FoxeR so far, guys, in these first 9 minutes. Does finally lose that 1 medevac, but he still has these 2 medevacs active. And Fjant is in all sorts of trouble. 3 base against 3 base is never a good place to be in. He's going to try to double expand one more time. Queen count. We have 9 queens right now. Queens just haven't really been in the right position. Bailings will connect with a couple of these Marines. These are just Zerglings counterattacking. There are way too many tanks to even think about a tiny link counterattack. Maybe you send like 80 Zerglings into that triangle, but 10 links are not going to cut it. I mean, this base is, I think, impossible to defend, but even this base, if we're out of position, and we are out of position, is probably going to get cancelled again. FoxeR with cancel number 4, and he also had a kill. He's going to find a few more drones here too. Fjant is lacking a little bit of map vision. FoxeR is everywhere he needs to be, guys. Dropping again at the 4th base. He's now unloading a lot of Marines into the main. Fjant is going to try to start up a hive, but it just feels that the tempo and the momentum advantage is truly in the corner of FoxeR. He's going to try to run down maybe a few more Banes. Getting 7 drones is obviously very good overall. Surprised that he didn't see the hidden base. If Fjant can ever bring this back, it could very well be because FoxeR didn't see that other base going up in the top right. But 62 drones against 74 SCVs. This is one hell of a Terran army. The Baneling count is only at 5. I feel that there is no way. There should be no way. One of the medevacs that was actually carrying the leftover Marines does get picked off. I think FoxeR will see that there is creep here too now on the top right. Fjant should definitely not to try to defend this base. I think we should let this base die, buy some time, get a few more Banelings, send the drones over towards this base, and then pray. If he is going to try to defend this base, he's, I think, Omega dead. Does get a tank very quickly. Goes for a big counterattack, but there are so many Marines here. A couple of Banelings in the mix, but legit just a couple. That is not good enough. Maybe he can send these Lings back and get on top of all the tanks. Nice corrosive ball. So far, Fjant actually doing pretty decent here. That hatchery is still alive as well. That Widowmine shot is massive though. A lot of the Lings die, but every single tank dies. Honestly, this went, I think, way better for Fjant than I ever thought it would. But he's still behind. If he can somehow drag this game on for a little while longer though, and he can get the Ultras out, maybe then he can dream. There's a lot of low HP Marines here on the side of FoxeR. That hatchery is still very low on HP, and that hatch is now still going to fall. I mean, I thought it was kind of inevitable. It took a little bit longer than it actually went. Ooh, what did we use there? Banelings on a Widowmine that already fired. Obviously, you don't want to see that. Fjant is doing his absolute best, trying to keep up with the pace that FoxeR is pushing, but kind of feels that we're always 1 or 2 steps behind. Game 1 should go in favor of the Terran player. Unless FoxeR decides to just completely chill for the next 2 minutes and waits until Ultras are out, but what I love about watching FoxeR is that he's always pretty aggressive. I don't get to cast the young man all the time, but very often when I do get to cast him, his games are action-packed. He loves being aggressive. It's the fun player to watch. 5 Ultras on the production tab. The buffed Ultra guys. They're cheaper, baby. In the previous patch, there is no way he would have ever been able to afford 5 Ultras. Those Bane connections were a little bit bigger than they were supposed to be. Now the supplies are even. FoxeR does need to be a tiny bit careful. So many hatcheries have died. Like, we're legitimately looking at hatch number 5 dying. In a 13-minute game, 5 hatcheries have died. Unseen numbers. FoxeR gearing up for drop number 16 in the natural of Fjant, who does have kindness plating on the way. 1 queen is leading the charge. That queen is gonna die. We don't have kindness plating here, but Fjant probably just feels that defending forever is not the way. So he wants to make magic happen. Can the Banelings connect with the buy units? Yes, I mean, that's a decent amount of Ultras, guys. And kindness plating is close to finishing up. Obviously, Marines still dealing a lot of damage on the other side of the map as well. Kudos to Fjant for a game that has felt like a disaster. The boy is still battling. And he's going to make his opponent work for it. Does lose an Evo chamber there. He's going to lose the Baneling nest as well. That's obviously a building you never really want to lose. Biokine is going up. Couple of Banelings exploding there on the factory. Liberators. This should be the defense that FoxeR needs. Can Fjant at least take care of the Marines now? They're getting unloaded in the triangle. We cannot lose this base, and we cannot lose all these drones. Ultra has popped there. Kindness splitting has finished up. Good job there by FoxeR actually cancelling that base. Is he going to try to battle here, guys? Yes, that can work with all these Marauders. It's only +1 carapace on the Ultras as well. Pretty banging game. Felt like a total disaster for Fjant. Felt like so many things went wrong. But the young man from Svariga is absolutely putting on a fight. He's trying, he's battling. Has lost all his queens though. 10 queens have died. It should be over, but he does have 106 supply. We have a couple of infestors on the production tab. Perhaps miraculous fungals into Ultra shining brighter than the sun? Unlikely, but tiny chance. Feel like we had a somewhat slow start to the Big Brain Bouts tonight, but this first game of this series and the last game of the previous series are absolutely getting me in an excellent StarCraft 2 mood. You know, I thought Fjant was already gonna die against that Marine tank push. I kind of felt like he should have. The Lings don't have adrenal glands, but I don't even think we can really call that a mistake, because he's just been very broke, right? He's been nowhere near maxing out, and we needed something bigger than just a couple of Zerglings to even have a chance in this game, so prioritizing Ultras over Adrenal is not something I really hate. If we now continue building Lings, then I do think we need Adrenal glands. Still has a little bit of money. He's just losing so many drones. I think the Liberators are going to be a little bit too much to deal with. After you lose all your queens, it's so tough to deal with multi-prong harassment of the Terran player as well. And FoxeR is excellent in that department. I also don't love the Spire, but he probably feels that he just needs some sort of anti-air, right? And he's probably going to empty his pockets and scrape every single penny together, build a couple of Corruptors and pray. I think we are too broke for Spore Crawlers at this point. He needs Vipers. Yeah, I wouldn't hate Vipers either, but yeah, I think Vipers is not a bad call. Nice scan there by FoxeR. Finds the Infestors. Against this many Medevacs spamming Parabomb. So freaking nice. Don't know if this is a fight that Ultras can win, guys. That's a lot of circles. Liberators are going to make justice. Rain from above. The Fungals are good, but the Marauder count is too high. Too many Medevacs. Too many Marauders. Too many lips. GG gets called. FoxeR takes the 1-0 lead. Does seem pretty annoying for a Zerg to get up to 4 bases on this map. Now, maybe that was just like an error early on by Fjant, where maybe Fjant could have done a better job in connecting those bases by creep. Yeah, that was rough. But for how rough that early mid-game looked, I'm very surprised that we even got up to Hive, and then we got up to all those Ultras, so I don't think there is any real reason for Fjant to picnic just yet. The original VoIP with the 44... What's up with 44 months? Why is everybody resubbing for 44 months, guys? What did Roddy do 44 months ago? What year was that? 2019? Ah, is that when I was naked on stream? I'm kidding, Basilisk. I never did that. But it must have been a banger stream, because I have a lot of people resubbing for 44 months. When do we get more Gabe impersonations? Well, we kind of need... Sure. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna swap servers. I mean, we kind of need Gabe, right? It wouldn't be very nice. I also haven't really heard Gabe his thoughts yet about the latest patch. I've been so busy over the last 2 weeks that I haven't been able to watch a lot of Gabriel. It would have been for a scientific reason. No. We've never done those things. Alright, guys, we're just swapping servers. Game 2 will be on NA. I think for Fjant that doesn't make much of a difference. That should obviously help FoxeR a little. Did we ever get shirtless Roddy at Homestead Cup 20? Yes, because it was literally in a... how do we call it? Indoors... Wouldn't quite call it an indoor swimming pool. How was the entire thing called? The Tropical Island venue. A tropical water park, maybe? Resort thing? Yeah. It was inside of a resort tropical water park, so... Yes, I was shirtless. I do not swim with a shirt on. It happened. You wonder what MVP is doing today? Probably serving coffee. Because I met MVP like 3 months ago. He was at Gamers 8. And yeah, apparently he runs his own coffee shop in Seoul, South Korea. I think he's happy. I think he has a good time. He's in really good shape. Apparently he went to the gym every single day. Treadmill on max incline. And just walked for like an hour straight. Where I want to go? I don't know, but I think if you ask like Tasteless or something, Tasteless might know. And if Tasteless doesn't know, maybe State would know, or anybody else that's still in Korea. And thank you, Champ Mate, for the 95 months. I guess 95 months ago, we were already playing were we playing Legacy of the Void 95 months ago, guys? It was released in 2016, right? Legacy. 7 years ago. Well, maybe it was harder this one. Pog. Frank would probably know, yeah. Sure, Meto Chobo. Sure. If you show up in Rotterdam, that one is on me. Alrighty. Game 2. 1-0 lead for the American Terran.
Round 2. Fight!
Not too much United Forge, but once in a while we can have a little bit of fun though. Top left side of Heartland, we are looking at the main base of our Swedish Zerg. He has never won on the Friday night in the Big Brain Bouts. And as much as I love FoxeR, I kind of hope that my boy wins tonight, because it is time. I know he has made great progress lately as a player. Team Roddy's Fjant. Bottom right side, taking the 1-0 lead. He is 2-1 on the Friday nights in the Big Brain Bouts. We are looking at the main base of the American Terran player. Maybe Berserker Esports. FoxeR. I thought it was just Malem. Clem. Is Liquid Claymore watching, by the way? Claymore, stand up. Normally Clem is very supportive of his buddies when they are playing, so I hope Clem is watching. I haven't actually talked to Clem that much lately. I feel like I haven't done a Clem interview in forever. I guess we hang out a little bit at the real Home Story Cup. Maybe Clem doesn't want to talk to me anymore after I was terrible in looping Louis. Oh no. What if I ruined the friendship, guys, by being terrible in looping Louis? That would be so sad. It wasn't on purpose. It was an incident. Reaper fast expand, barracks on the high ground, so no weird low ground setups here for FoxeR. Obviously last game we opened up with 2 Cyclones quickly, and after the 2 Cyclones we went into Hellions. That was one of the main reasons why Fjant had a lack of creep. Spraying GG into your opponent's face. Is that bad mannered, guys? Shall we do a 10% price pool penalty to FoxeR? You think standard Hellion Cyclone? I don't know, I think we're gonna do something different this time around. Real close there, guys. If that Reaper would have taken one more step forward, that would have been bad news for Fjanty boy. Hellion Cyclone is standard already. I think you see it quite often as an opener. You know, there's one thing, by the way, guys, that's very tricky about this map. And that is that when I was playing on it, I was kind of bothered by there being purple on my minimap, like there is creep. And I was like, man, that's really stupid. Like, why does it look like there is creep on my minimap when there is no creep? But then it turned out there actually is creep in this dead airspace. You guys can see creep on this little weird plateau island, whatever it is. And that's why it shows up purple on your minimap. I discovered that yesterday. I was molding. I was like, why does it look like creep? And then it turned out that it looks like creep because there is creep. The Cabal. Mutalisks probably fly faster over this area as well, guys. They got us again. For the first time ever, creep actually benefits flying units. It's unbelievable how they keep on getting away with this. No Cyclones, it's just Hellions. We have a Viking first. Now, I do really wonder what we're going to do after that Viking then. Hey, that is not good by Fjant. 2 drones exposed as they were transferring between the natural and the third base. Nice movement by FoxeR. Okay, FoxeR is now just flexing his APM. Probably messing up the macro at home, but sometimes it is nice to just be annoying in the face of your opponent. It gets them to think. Kick the tires and light the fires. Isn't that what Hellions say? I haven't heard it in a while, but I guess that's just because I never played Terran. The patch buffed all aspects of Zerg. I mean, I feel like it's still honestly a little bit too early for me to make very bold statements about this patch. Obviously, I have kind of given my thoughts on a few things that I've been experiencing so far and what I've seen. But to say that this patch is a buff for Zerg, that is crazy talk. You cannot look at all these changes that are so freaking impactful at the highest level and say that it's a buff for Zerg. That is just incorrect. I mean, people who say that also talk about the Viper buff. That's just the silliest thing ever. I think Zerg got the least, yeah, absolutely. That doesn't mean that Zerg is bad or unplayable, but I do think the game is harder for Zerg right now than it was before. The 25 mineral discount on the Ultras. Or the Viper buff, guys, because we all know that like Sero, Raynor, and Lambo were just killing their own hive over and over and over again. So they really needed that extra help with the Viper. People who say that stuff are crazy. 60 drones for Fjant, as FoxeR is gonna try to distract Fjant with his Hellions. Really good activity with the Hellions and the Reaper. Liberator is gonna try its luck in the main base, but Fjant does have a Spore Crawler, so whoever suggested Spore Crawlers in that previous game kind of got their wish granted. That is not a fight that the Queen is going to win. Fjant, we're gonna have to move it, and he does. Lynx kinda gets scouting, but maybe can win that fight actually. Just 2 Marines, not good enough. This can actually get a little bit annoying, but extra units have shown up. It's okay. Still nice though to get 4 Marines like that. This makes you feel good about yourself. There's an ugly siege from the Liberator, but apparently good enough to at least get 1 drone. Thank you, Knight, for the Twitch Prime. Appreciate it, matey. 1-1 upgrades on the way for Fjant. I'd love to see some burrow. I want to see some burrowed banelings. There's only one reason why I ever schedule TVZs on the Friday night. And that is for burrowed banelings, baby. A lot of Banes morphing there on the left. Scan goes down. Baneling speed halfway done for Fjant. He's going to try his luck one more time with a Link run by, but FoxeR does a very good job in leaving units at the right places. This could turn into a pretty long Big Brain Bouts. Because that first series looked like it was going to be a short one, but then it still went for 5 games past the 1 hour mark. And the second series, based on everything we saw in that first game and the way that game 2 is shaping up, there really is no reason to assume that this is going to be a short best of 5. What did you guys end up voting for in the end, by the way? Who was the favorite? Was it FoxeR because he was winning game 1? I know it was kind of close. Chat has been wrong. 5 best of 5s in a row. And I don't want to say that this is my greatest accomplishment as a StarCraft 2 matchmaker, but it kind of feels like it is. Got a Hydra then. No Roach Warren this time around, but Link, Bane, Hydra on the side of Fjant. Yeah. Chat's officially in shambles. Hello, Disrespect. A long time no see. Well, that's a good tank spot, by the way. Fjant needs to be careful. I'm also keeping a close eye on his Queen moving overall. Seems like we had a bit of a battle on the top right, but I don't want to miss this fight because it feels like this is where FoxeR is paying attention. Well, this is a little Marine drop. Couple of Marines were left behind. I think FoxeR is trying to bait these Marines to get in range of this tank. Ooh, unloading on top of a Spore. Look at FoxeR trying to snipe a couple of banelings. Don't forget about that one hero tank that's in the back. Man, we're getting some value out of this setup. To me, it feels that Fjant should have more than enough units to take care of this. FoxeR doing a very good job in controlling this Al-Naga Watchtower, creating a lot of map vision for himself. Hello, Papa Vendrup. There's no way Roddy beats chat 6 times in a row. But it wasn't really me. I think I would have gone for a couple of similar predictions with you guys, but it is obviously nice to know that 5 times in a row the underdog won. Fjant is going for the 1-2, guys. Finally does get that one tank that has been a thorn in his side. Somewhat of a painful cleanup, but cleanup nevertheless. Morphing a couple of Banes here, but just 3 Banes by itself is not going to be good enough because FoxeR still has a tank here. Boom. Right. I like how the Baneling said, I'd rather die at a depot than die at this tank. Widow mine! Are you Banelings then? Oh, no, no. Oh my goodness. That could have been so much worse. That should have been so much worse. Fjant needs Overseers. And he needs a whole bunch of them. He's got 0 of them right now. Huh? Widow mines need a buff. I mean, if that happens, then I will truly never, ever, ever visit StarCraft Reddit again. Because it can already be a pretty tough place. But if they ever somehow give a buff to the Widowmine. Oh no. Fjant going for a 1-2 punch, guys. The majority of his army is over here on the bottom side of the map. Blows up the planetary fortress rather easily. Not sure if he really got a whole lot done at the third, but getting the PF that quickly is obviously nice. I finally see an Overseer as well. Love to see more than one Overseer, to be completely honest with you guys, but we have an Overseer. Hit them on the target. Hey, that was a good bit of my shot. Fjant has lost way more resources, but he's been pretty rich in this game, and then it's somewhat acceptable as a Zerg to lose a few more resources. FoxeR is not really the guy to transition into Ghost super quick by most of the games that I've seen of him. By the looks of game 1, by the looks of game 2. Not sure, I guess we were waiting for one of these command centers to finish up. Fjant fires up a hive. Whenever we watch the best Zergs in the world, we often make it, or they make it look easy when it comes down to controlling Infestors and Vipers at the same time. Unless you are a 7k animal, it is not easy to play late game Zerg and control multiple spellcasters. Even some of the 6k plus Zergs I feel are somewhat underwhelming. They can do either Vipers or either Infestors, but if they have to do both at the same time, even very high ranked Zerg players can struggle a little. It's just difficult. Look at Fjant's creep spread, by the way, guys. 12 minutes into hard lap. Looks pretty good, eh? Very good. A couple of Marines are going to try to YOLO their way into this base at 12 o'clock, but Fjant has plenty of units there. Fjant is going to do whatever he can to deny this base from going up. Finally! 13 minutes into game 2, we've got Burrow! And that just makes me very happy. Hell, it's about time. We also have Adreno glands. One of those tanks is left behind. That gets one good shot up. The tank line does go back all the way to the natural towards that base at 6 o'clock. Makes it hard for Fjant to chase. But he is maxed out. He's got all the sexy things going for himself. A Lurkadan, a First Viper, Adreno glands, +3 armor already. I don't know why we are only using... because we're getting missile attacks too. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. I guess +2 melee is fine, especially if we got Adreno. We already have 22 banings and we are getting 22 additional banings. That is 44. The number is just everywhere. Does that mean that Lewis Hamilton is going to win the Grand Prix of Qatar this weekend? I doubt it, but I know that would make at least 2 Canadians very happy. Let's see if Fjant can make himself very happy with those 44 banelings. Takes out the rocks. Fox is really enjoying that sensor tower life. Very logical conclusion. We all know whatever happens in Roddy his StarCraft 2 streams has a very big impact on what happens in F1. Overseer gets sniped. EMP lands on the Viper, so the Viper cannot do anything. No blinding clouds, no abducts, but we have so many banings. Now the banings are rolling into a bit of a meat grinder though. And that is an amazing hold by FoxeR. Fjant already lost a few more resources in this game, but after that fight, he's lost a whole bunch more. Seems like a hard map to break a Terran player on. Maybe that's something that is common for all these maps? Hydra's Lings and base making their way up a ramp, but Fjant his supplies is not really, I think, what it's supposed to be to take a fight like this. Maybe he feels that he should take this fight right before it's a planetary, but I think this is a wrong choice. Fjant was already losing some of these engagements. Now loses it a whole lot more one-sidedly. In a weird way, this base, guys, kind of blends in with this creep on the map, so maybe FoxeR won't realize there's creep there. Hydra's Lings and Banes will at least force FoxeR to pick up all these units. I think Fjant's macro has been quite good in this game. We are not quite maxed out yet, but he is at least spending the vast majority of his money. Gets a couple of SCVs there, gets a few of the expensive bio units, but... yeah, I feel that maybe FoxeR got a bit carried away. Maybe FoxeR is like, oh, I defended again, and I defended for the third time. Now I can step on creep, right? Well, No, that was not quite the case. 2 queens with a lot of energy. Fjant has a lot of bases, but I don't really know how good his saturation is. Not perfect by the looks of it. Does find a couple of tanks here. Yeah, Nida's going up in the main base as well. Or at least I think it's in the main base. I think we're going to try the main base. Nida's the main base of FoxeR. There we go. Took me a little while. There's a lot of lurkers, guys, in range of a planetary fortress. We have a tank that is just shelling away at this Zerg army. Repair is good. It's one hell of a drug, but it's not good enough to keep this planetary fortress alive. This amount of lurkers definitely came as a bit of a surprise to FoxeR. Because now the tanks are getting picked off as well. I'd say that was the most successful attack that Fjant has had in a while. He's got so many bases. I'm kind of failing to see where we have 83 drones, but I'm sure they're somewhere, and the income is obviously good. Now the ghost count is still somewhat decent, but FoxeR is pulling a demo as he's moving forward into all these lurkers, and there's a reason why Demo is playing around with elephants right now in Age of Empires. And that is because you can't just stim forward into a whole bunch of lurkers that are already burrowed. Nice blinding cloud there, by the way, guys, by Fjanti. As the Lings are going to get on top of these SCVs as well. I think this is all very good. I'd love a single burrowed Zergling, perhaps, here in the bottom left side. I think that'd be very lovely for Fjant. He's got burrow. So you want to get value out of the fact that you have units that are half a supply and are quick. Can give you a bit of info. Because imagine if FoxeR can kind of secretly get this base up, spam mules here for a while. That is income that he's not supposed to have. Need to inject. +2 missile attacks is done as he's now firing up +3 melee. 13 ghosts and 8 tanks. We don't have any liberators though. And this is no longer a planetary fortress, it's now an orbital. Building armor and high sec auto tracking at the same time. Fjant has been trying to kill this third base for a very long time, and even though there isn't really any minerals left, or there are some resources left, but really not all that many. Ghosts are going to try to hold their ground and land a few big snipes. So that kind of worked out. I do believe we have our first Nidus coming online in the main base. And now we have a bunch of lurkers getting on top of the Terran production. This is a great move by Fjant. But great reaction by FoxeR too, but now he's actually moving them a little bit too close. Lurker range is pretty sick. And these ghosts are having a hard time landing all their snipes. Eventually, they should be able to. But yeah, this is obviously... no! FoxeR not like that. He commenced the ghosts in range of the lurkers. As Fjant sends a whole bunch of Zerglings in as well. Fjant is really playing a very swarmy style. I think this is the kind of Zerg that people are always hoping for. Not late game slow Zerg sitting on spore crawlers and spines and spellcasters, no. Just shove a whole bunch of units in. Chaos everywhere, Lings everywhere. And then a Nidus network in the main base. It seems, guys, that after 2 games we're going to be all tied up. Because I believe the floodgates are open and I think FoxeR has officially been broken. GG gets called. Fjant ties things up. FoxeR wins on the European server. Fjant wins on the American server. That's fun as well. I guess now we go back to Europe. What I like about these guys, by the way, is that they're professionals and they do the hosting for me, which makes me very happy. Another fun and very competitive best of 5 so far. $80 for the winner, $20 for the loser in our second series of the night. It's gotta be exhausting to play games like that. Now, obviously, they had all day to get ready for it. They had some time to look forward to it, but well, we are definitely properly video gaming tonight. FoxeR advantage now in Europe. Maybe with that many European friends, the European server is his home. And that's just where he shines. Fjant says that he doesn't remember the 4th map. No, neither do I, my friend. Oh my goodness. Clem is playing arcade games. Caught him. Not even supporting FoxeR. No wonder he's not talking in my chat, guys. I see him 4 minutes into an arcade, and I also see that he's not alone. So, I was actually wondering about the map choices, and I kind of thought that first map was Fjant's pick, and then the second map seemed like a good Terran map. That was Fox's pick, but it's the other way around. Yeah, Fox, Clam, I got you. I see you, mate. That's what you get when we are friends. 4 minutes into an arcade. Liquid Clemma. Alright, apparently... Wow, we're gonna play Equilibrium. Or however you're supposed to pronounce that. Hello, Andre. How are you doing on the Friday night, my friend? Equilibrium, or however you're supposed to pronounce this map name, guys, is the one map where you have the sickest base ever. Gold minerals with a rich Vespian geyser. I took it in one PvP and I've never felt richer. I think I took it against a Terran as well, and I had 6 carriers quicker than I ever had them before. Roddy, what are your thoughts on Overeem going into politics? I did not hear about this, no. I've got no thoughts about it at all, my friend. In the Netherlands or where? Like, hasn't he been living in America for such a long time? What does he even have to add? But I mean, I kind of like him, so I guess it's okay. Take care, Master 008. You have a good week. I have had a fantastic week so far, Mr. Andre. Let's go ahead and hop into Game 3, guys. That massive map with the mega base. The richest base of them all.
Round 3. Fight!
Netherlands, supposedly. Okay. Is he joining up with a party or is he starting his own party? I have not heard anything about it. I mean, I wish him well. In the top right side, so Equilibrium, we are looking at the main base of our Swedish Zerg. Managed to tie things up after winning on the American server. Looking for his first W ever on the Friday night. This is Team Roddy's Fjant. In the top left side, we are looking at the main base of the man that is representing Berserker Esports. But in Europe, he's part of the community team of Clemma. This is FoxeR. Yes, waar ik coming in Fjanten. Andre, you should have done it last week, mate. There was discount. Discounts are good. FoxeR is using real builds now. Hello, DJ. Are you still playing, DJ? I had a couple nerds telling me that I should ask you for the Big Brain Bouts. I was like, I haven't seen DJ play a game in forever. Is the patch bringing DJ back? I did see him play in the All Things Protoss, yeah, that is true. He's crushing it, yeah, he's smurfing. I want to go on whatever team plays against DJ next. If DJ is smurfing in that league, beating up on low-level players, I want DJ. I'm dropping the gauntlet right now. FoxeR with a good start here, guys. Obviously the double barracks Reaper opening, and he is going to deny that drone from becoming a hatch. It was already a very close call on the previous game, where I did mention that if that Reaper would have taken one tiny bunny hop towards the north side, he would have been able to block that drone from becoming a hatch. Goober? Is that one of the teams? Can you guys give me the team names of All Things Protoss? DJ is single-handedly responsible for preventing Fjant's team from qualifying. Shameful. Fjant is dropping a baiting nest, guys. What is this all about? We've had 2 macro-oriented games. Are we gonna make it a little dirty here in game 3? Reaper's gonna hop into... that's a dead Reaper. A little bit sloppy. Careful. One of the 3 Reapers died while we are potentially getting bailing busted. Take care, BK. Thanks for stopping by. So, love Zerglings, guys. I hope that FoxeR has an idea that this is happening. Because he spawned on the left side, his add-ons are going to be exposed. This is one thing that is obviously a little bit silly about StarCraft 2. Does seem that FoxeR has a decent idea that this could potentially be happening, as he's building not 1 but 2 bunkers, already cancelling Stim as well. He's gonna feel that that is never gonna come into play. But we don't have any reactors yet on our factory, so it is just 1 cyclone at a time. Cyclones are tanky, have a lot of damage. Oh, he cancels one of the bunkers. Is that a good call? Does FoxeR think that this is not happening? He cancelled one of the bunkers, and this is where the Baneling show up. Depot gets blown up, but we do still have one bunker though, and that is obviously kind of good. Right, what a grenade by FoxeR! That was a very good grenade, but there are a few more Banelings showing up. The bunker is low on HP, the bunker dies, the Marines get surrounded, and Fjant will deal a lot of damage here. The only question is how much. So far it's looking good, but against the triple CC opening, I don't think that Fjant would hate a tiny bit more, but with the 20 army supply against basically nothing, he should always be able to get more. Oh, poor FoxeR, guys, salvaging that second bunker, so painful. So painful. Perhaps he can get another wall up. Nope, the Lings are gonna get in one more time. A lot of the SCVs are already low on HP, and it seems that game 3 is gonna be a short one, and it seems that game 3 belongs to Fjant. The floodgate's still open. I think that is just a few too many Lings. That Cyclone is gonna do its absolute best, but every single SCV gets taken care of. And Fjant with the Baneling bust puts himself ahead 2-1 before we go back to the American server. Is it happening, guys? Is today the Friday night that belongs to Fjant? 5 previous times it did not go his way. Is it the curse breaking? Maybe. If chat predicted FoxeR to win, I mean, then it's a very powerful negative streak that chat is on. Response to the third base being blocked. Yep. That is kind of what it was. I'm back on NA already, but seems like they are not. You're 1-0 at the moment, but voted Terran. FoxeR's name was showing as Flobio. Yes, on Europe his account is Flobio. Is Nico Rosberg in chat? I think he took a selfie with the Cyclone. Kind of sad actually that happened on that map, because I've already seen a decent amount of long games on almost every other map, but on that map I don't think I've seen a single long game besides the 2 meme games that I was playing. Alright, Hecate, aka the Lethal Shockwave map, is going to be map 4. I absolutely hate that Lethal has printed this into my brain. Yes. And the players are struggling to remember the correct map order, but FoxeR says ready. I'm ready. Seems like it's all good to go. Hecate, map 4. Then this is the map choice of Fjant, because he said that FoxeR picked map 3. Let's see a Max Verstappen fast game. I think we kind of just did, mate. That was the shortest game of the evening. It doesn't get much shorter than that, unless we go for proxy 2-Rex. Yo, Alex. Let's go, amigo. Thank you so much for the 27 months. I hope you're doing great, my magnificent Viking friend. Hope to see you again one day, amigo. It's been a very long time by now. We gotta change that. We gotta do better, Alex.
Round 4. Fight.
In the top right side of Hecate, we are looking at the main base of the man, also from Sweden, trying to get his first W ever on the Friday night. 0-5 historically. Always had difficult opponents, but has a difficult opponent tonight as well. He's looking good though. Does tonight belong to him. It is Team Ruddy's Fjant. Woohoo! In the bottom left side, back on the American server, we are looking at the main base of the man who started off winning his first 2 series in the Big Brain Bouts, but that was against Protoss, and everybody wins TVPs. Against the Zergs, we're having a tougher time so far, down 1-2. After also losing the best of 5 against Spacey Macy, this is Berserker Esports FoxeR. Hello, Hydra. Is Fjant the best to ever come from Sweden? As much as I love Fjant, no, it's way too early to say that. Sweden actually has a very rich history in StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3 as well, but obviously Naniwa was actually in debate for a while as the greatest foreigner of all time. Of course, once I think Cyril started doing his thing, Neep started doing his thing, nobody could really say that it was Naniwa anymore. But Naniwa will always go down, whether you like him or not, as one of the most successful foreigners that we've ever had. Then obviously Torzane was fantastic. Matrock was good in the very beginning. Moro won the first ever big offline StarCraft 2 event we had with the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne in the beta with all the Reapers. Snoot is Norwegian. Don't forget about Jinro, guys. Jinro, very successful in the early days of StarCraft 2. A lot of deep runs in the GSL. Jinro is the greatest foreigner. No. I love Jinro, but he's not the greatest foreigner. I think the greatest foreigner was hard to pick at first because I think in the beginning almost everyone was just beating each other. And then I think it was Stefano for quite some time. Until Neep came around, and I thought what Neep was doing was even more impressive than what Stefano was doing. But then Saro came around and said, alright, you guys had your fun. Now it's my time. And I think Nurcho and Snoot were also amazing for a very long time, but... Yeah, I think they both made semifinals, right? Neep made semifinals and Jinro made semifinals. But the funny thing is that by the time that Neep made semifinals, Saro was already quite a bit better than Neep. Andre with the 100 gifted subbies. Why not last week, Andre? You would have had a discount, my friend. I tried to save you money. I can see you're running your bank account like the way Miss Lintat was running finances for Ajax. Thank you so much, matey. Let's go. I haven't really seen the list of names yet. I guess you have broken Twitch. There we go. I hope to see a lot of familiar names in there. Thank you so much, Andre. Welcome, everybody. This is where some people will say missed, and some people will be happy. One of the Reapers getting picked off by the Queen. Seems that the Reapers found some success so far, though. 9 Zerglings and a drone, obviously not too shabby, but we have a more normal setup this time around. Fjant obviously was able to get the 3rd hatch up, is not reacting with a lot of links, is not bailing busting. Gotta support some young nerds then, bully. Andre is a sweetheart though. If you want him to stop by your stream, I'm sure he will. Especially if you tell him that you think Ajax is a great football club and that you're still very hopeful for the rest of the season. That's how you can summon Andre. Andre needs love right now, guys. Mixed Biscuits, the man who just gifted 100 subbies. I don't know if anybody has too many channel points, but maybe we can get a couple hugs in the chat for Andre. He's a diehard Ajax fan, and let's just say it's a tough season so far. It's been a very, very tough season for my man Andre. But we're still very early. Things can always change, mate. All right, back to my game 4, guys. Obviously, if Fjant wins, it will be a very big moment for this young man. Not just because it's amazing to win 80 bucks in the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts, but it's awesome to get rid of that 0 in front of your name, and it's such a nice confidence booster for the young man to get ready for those ESL Winter 2023 Europe regionals, not summer. Winter summer is not a thing. Winter 2023 Europe regionals. It's a bit of a mouthful, but that is obviously what Fjant is preparing for, what he's gearing up for. And I think a win tonight will give him a lot of confidence going into those qualifiers. Oh, a sexy link movement, guys. Seems that FoxeR is aware of it, but I still think all these Hellions are stuck. There is a Liberator that's going to try to siege up and kill a couple of drones. I feel like Fjant could just go, but Fjant really wants to soak up the first few shots with the Queens here. I kind of feel like this is taking a little too much time, but okay, he's not messing up against the Lip, so then I guess it doesn't matter. Pretty clean cleanup in the end. All the Hellions go down, the Reaper goes down. What is the Liberator up to? Does get a couple of drones, but I think that's a dead Lip right now, right? Queens have enough DPS. Queens have enough DPS. That's another good start now. A 15 worker lead for the young man from Sweden as FoxeR picks up all of his Marines. Oh, you need to raise that depot. FoxeR, you need to raise that depot, and he doesn't raise the depot. We are on the American server. This is going to hurt, guys. He may be able to clean this up eventually, but that's a lot of dead SCVs. And I hope for FoxeR that his Marines and the double drop can do a lot of damage on the other side of the map. At least the tank lives, so that is good. Yeah, you still have 8 Queens to worry about. Oh, what a painful moment not to have your depot raised. Does get one of the hatcheries, so I guess that's kind of good. But I don't know if I really want to lose 14 SCVs, all that mining time, all the additional marines that I just produced at home. And at least the tanks survived. Normally losing the 4th hatchery as a Zerg is a disaster, but I think in this scenario it's completely fine for Fjant. I think he can live with it. It's double expanding now as well. Now it is important that the young man doesn't get nervous, because he's been in these moments before where things look great. We need overlords, Fjant. We need overlords, mate. It's a gnarly supply block, guys. I already had my eye on it when he was around like 100 supply. And then I see him build more units, more units. The 3 overlords on the production tab. Wouldn't be surprised to see that turn into 7 or 8 overlords in the near future. Good baneling connection there, though. FoxeR trying to, I guess, macro at home. Maybe distracted by these few Zerglings showing up in his minimap. Wouldn't hate a few more overlords on the side of Fjant. I kind of feel right now you have created so much momentum for yourself. You have such a good read on the game. Why not just queue up 10 more drones, 5 more overlords, and after that you can get as crazy as you want to be. With all your upgrades, all your links, all your banes. Being on 68 drones right now is just not needed. He's making so many units. Tiny baneling run by. By making this many units, guys, and not droning up, he is kind of letting FoxeR back into the game. You just don't get how he did not see 30 links. Well, we can't blame Ping either, mate, because we are playing game 4 on the American server. The first 2 games I think were very draining. They were pretty long and very action-packed, so I guess we're always going to see a couple of mistakes in game 3 and game 4. There is still that upgrade lead that at least FoxeR has going for himself. And like economically, it doesn't look all that bad right now. Because I don't think Fjant has really droned up in the way that he should have been droning up. These guys are around 5,800 MMR. Sometimes 6k, sometimes 5.6. I think 5.8 is a pretty fair average. Second factory is being produced for FoxeR. We're also adding in a Liberator. Fjant has dropped the Hydra Den. Creep is looking good. There's a very weird base here, by the way, guys. It has some gold minerals and some blue minerals. Nice pick up there by FoxeR. Fjant needs to be careful though. This is off creep. Nothing else is happening. Really wants that command center. He gets that command center, but I don't think you're going to find a lot of Zergs who will say that that was absolutely worth it. Like, that kind of stuff is worth it if you are 50 workers ahead and you're absolutely crushing. But this game is still pretty close economically, and I just don't think that is worth it. Needs to be careful right now. He's going to have to buy some time with these queens, but the queens are very low in HP. FoxeR does get another one. Loses a lot of the marines, though. There's a few of these links morphed into banelings. And Fjant is able to keep this hatchery alive. At least he's going to keep FoxeR as a 3-base Terran for a little bit, guys, but that was very expensive. That was very, very, very expensive. Very sad for Fjant to see this one slip away. It was in such an amazing spot. Yeah, that's maybe like a bit of experience that is still missing on the side of Fjant, where he had all the time in the world to just crank out a bunch of overlords, a bunch of drones, and then the rest of the game you could be as reckless as you want to be. But because he was rather slow in droning up, now every single trade and every single attack is still going to be very important. And I think overall I still like the game for Fjant. And now he's even going to get his hands on some of these rich minerals, so his income is going to be absolutely booming. We've got Burrow as... No, I thought we had Burrow and it was done, but it's not done yet. But we're going to get Burrow in the near future. Bailing's finding pretty good connections here off creep. That is a little bit better than I expected this to go for Fjant. These final Hydras, though, don't have upgrades yet, and Hydras without upgrades are awfully slow. This is where we need the opposite of the Max Verstappen theme song. I don't know if Nikita Mazepin or Latifi has a theme song, but that's what I need for slow Hydras without their upgrades. Off grip. Okay. Fjant seems to be very intimidated about the idea of FoxeR getting up to 4 bases, but FoxeR is going to go up to 4 bases, and this was all right before +2 melee and +2 carapace and even Hydra speed. Like, a little bit reckless what Fjant is doing here. Making this game a whole lot closer than it has to be. Well, FoxeR is definitely stabilizing and turning this into a game. But there is a lurker then. Wow, we don't even have Hive yet, right? That's crazy. These maps look small. It's definitely not small. Alright, now we're gonna fire up the Hive. So that's a 12-minute Hive in a game where there was a whole lot of freedom. And a lot of anti-timings indeed on the side of Fjant. And a couple of reckless trades. And I think this is another one. The planetary fortress is done. And now he's basically just hoping that the Banelings find the best possible connections. Can he get the PF? Can he get that PF? Can he get... Oh my goodness, he doesn't get it. He does not get it. FoxeR holds, saves the planetary. Hopped SCVs in and out as well. Repaired it immediately. And that is a monstrous save on the side of FoxeR. Wow. That is big. Building armor, guys. Building armor. But we do have lurkers now. Lurkers are very good. Banelings are good. And obviously upgrades are still even at this point. I feel like Fjant would just be able to get one of these bases going on the top left side. I do like that he has fully saturated the base that is most forward. So in case we ever have to give it up, at least he can start stealing a lot of minerals from this base. Eventually he can even take this one on the other side of the map. So mining of this base, if this really turns into a proper long game, is massive. And that's going to be a big advantage for Fjanty Boy in the end. +3 attack is done on the side of FoxeR. Fjant has started +3 carapace, and that is about it. If there is one thing that Maddie knows how to do, it's camping. Maddie being FoxeR in this regard, according to Mixers. A couple of the tanks do die. I don't really hate this poke by Fjant. Man, when did FoxeR get this base, guys? When did FoxeR get this base? Since we're building refineries, I want to say probably not that long ago, but that kind of just blended in. That green color just kind of blended in on the minimap, and I had no idea that he had his hands on that one. This game is about to get very chaotic. We're going to have a little drop. I don't think that Fjant really had any idea. Oh my god, he still doesn't know. Fjant, just like Roddy, did not know. Now the creep tumor may reveal it in the near future, but this is definitely not a base that Fjant wants to see FoxeR mine off. And FoxeR's like, well, I don't really care. Oh my goodness, we're gonna go into the meat grinder one more time. We do have lurkers though. Lurkers are tanky. Couple of ghosts in the back, not able to land their snipes yet. Banelings are making their way through, connecting with a couple of these SCVs. Most of the lurkers have died. Fjant needs to bring more lurkers forward. That is exactly what he's going to do. We still have a bunch of ghosts though. Pew, 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 pew. Planetary Fortress. Will it survive again? I'm starting to believe that we can write a little story about this PF, because this PF truly says never say die. And it just refuses to fall. FoxeR makes another great hold near his planetary. Keeps that bad boy alive again. Does need to be careful with his ghost. Very happy to see on Fox's side that he didn't put the ghost in the low HP medevac there, because the Hydras were in range. Planetary has 25 kills. 25. Building arm is so good, I don't know why more pros don't get it. I think they get it, eventually. It's just not something you rush early on, but in these kind of games, they pretty much always get it. Blinding Cloud though, that's nice. It's gonna make it a little bit harder for the ghosts to do their thing. I mean, Fjant just keeps on trying to kill this planetary fortress. He probably says it became personal between me and this PF. But Fjant, maybe we can go for a different PF, man. We're just not gonna get this one. I think we should have gone for a different planetary fortress there. I would like to know the amount of HP that this planetary has been repaired for. There's a lot of ghosts, by the way. Do we have any infestors on the battlefield? No. We do have Vipers. Look at that Viper buff, guys. It doesn't even kill an extractor. The old Viper would have killed this extractor. Game would have been over. The new and improved Viper just keeps on damaging the extractor but doesn't kill it. Unbelievable. What is even Fox's next base? I would say this one or this one. That's why it's so nice for Fjant. Alright, Fjant now knows about this setup. I guess we're gonna send a whole bunch of +2 links with Adreno clans into the natural. Do we raise the depot? Yes, good job there by FoxeR. Does he have... FoxeR doesn't have personal cloaking. It is being researched right now. Can Fjant at least get this PF? If we can't get the other one, can we get this one? The Banelings are here. Banelings gonna try to blow up the SCV's planetary, very low on HP. But not a single planetary fortress dies in this game. It's absolutely unbelievable. But FoxeR just keeps on saving all of them. Now the Vipers come in from a weird angle. They get EMP, they get sniped. And FoxeR has successfully turned game 4 around. And at this point, it's actually starting to look like this game belongs to him. All the trouble that he was in after that big circling run by in the early game. Down over 25 workers. But the man protected these planetary fortresses like they are his firstborn child. And Fjant is in mega trouble. Does find a few tanks here. The first 2 tanks went down quickly, but Fjant is actually kind of running out of money. Never thought I'd see the day. How many resources? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I was like, how many resources did Fjant lose more than FoxeR by now? And in a 19-minute game, the difference is 20,000. 20,000 resources more have gone down the drain on the side of our Zerg player. Oh, poor Fjant, guys. Poor Fjant. Fjant is gonna veto this map for the rest of his life. Couple of goals do connect, or a couple of Banelings connected with a few goals there, but I hear snipes for days, and we are now moving forward into Lurkers. FoxeR with a very terrifying ghost army, showing us that ghosts are still pretty good. If any Terran out there was particularly worried, don't worry. The ghosts are still good. A fungal does land on a couple of these buy units, but it's not going to be enough. And after 19 minutes and 22 seconds and a magical comeback, where FoxeR traded 25k resources better, he turns things around. And for back-to-back series, we are going to Game 5. Man, what is up with my matchmaking skills lately? I guess they want to do a coin flip. We flip coin. I'll keep it fair. We flip a coin for server Game 5. Okay, Fjant already left. But we are still going to flip a coin, because I think that's the most fair way to do this. I'll let FoxeR choose, guys. Everything will be on Battle.net. I will showcase it to you guys. You choose head or tails. FoxeR says tails. It's heads, which means that we're gonna go to Europe, because obviously Fjant will always pick Europe. So Fjant is not aware of the coin toss that he just won, but he won. They say tails never fails, but fails a decent amount of the time. Fjant already hosted. He never had any doubt. He's like, there's no way FoxeR can properly predict a coin toss. Heads to get ahead, and tails never fails. Brave letting Steam see your... I don't do anything gnarly on my websites or on my PC. Nothing to hide here, Jeremy. The only thing they might ever see is that I'm a degenerate. They already know. I'm an innocent degen, but... honestly, like, my browsing history is very uneventful. I feel like I visit the same 7 websites in a circle, and then I close the computer. I'm afraid of every other website. Whenever I get a message like, do you accept this cookie? I'm like, no! That will mean that my StarCraft is gonna lag. Like, absolutely not. I guess nobody gave FoxeR the news that he lost. I feel like he should know. If we all leave the... okay, he's online. He knows. I have to admit, Lewis Hamilton is the GOAT in the Netherlands. I've never Googled that. I can guarantee you that. Go, go. Side Delta, guys. I feel like that's a decent Terran map, by the way. Fjant is asking FoxeR if he's ready. Because I wrote go-go, but FoxeR didn't wrote go-go. But he did join the lobby and it took a little while. So I'm going to assume that he's ready. If he's not ready, we can obviously rehost. That's okay. I definitely Google Buffalo Wild Wings, yeah. Whenever I travel, I want to make damn sure that I know if there is a Buffalo Wild Wings or not. It's actually very annoying. I Googled something related to Saudi Arabia, but there is a Dutch website where I read all my football news, which is called VI, like vi.nl. But the Saudi website for Game is 8 was like, visit Saudi. And now every single time I type vi.nl, it completes to
Always
visit Saudi.
entertaining. Thank you.
So I think that the Saudis think that I absolutely love them. And I'm Googling every single day on how to visit Saudi Arabia. But I just want to visit my football website. But it keeps on auto-completing. It's very frustrating.
Final round. Fight!
In the bottom right side of Site Delta, we are looking at the main base of our Swedish Zerg. Still looking for his first ever W on the Friday night. Was so close in that game 4, but he got reckless. And he fell to building armor. This is Team Roddy's Fjant. You can press Shift Delete to remove auto-completes. I have no idea how that works, mate. What if it happens on the phone, though? Maybe, like, I think it's mostly on my phone. If I type in VE, I think it, yeah, it's mostly on my phone. Visit Saudi.com. There is no Shift Delete on my phone. Top left side of Site Delta, we are looking at the main base of our American Terran player, tying things up, making a magical comeback in Game 4. It's FoxeR. What does it mean, plus 600 minerals? Do you mean here? Yes. Top left side is your current income, indeed, per minute. I'm sure you can delete it, but I just don't know how. And I've accidentally visited that website, Visit Saudi, like 25 times by now. Thank you to the United Forge for the 4 buckies, saying always entertaining. Thank you. I appreciate it, mate. And Mac, we're absolutely going to have some Buffalo Wild Wings soon. 24/7 B-dubs in Las Vegas. To me, that is the biggest attraction that Vegas has to offer. 4 a.m. wings and nachos, baby. I know what I like. Reddy's moving to Saudi now. Unfortunately, no offers. If I get Mbappe's offer, though, guys, I'm moving tomorrow. But it has to rival that. Otherwise, I'm not going. Sounds fantastic. I can't wait, Mac. It's going to be 10 out of 10. You live in Vegas? Hey, maybe I'll see you. If you're going to TwitchCon, guys, obviously let me know. Holla at your man. Whoa, FoxeR, guys. I guess this is somewhat similar to what he did in Game 1, right? How many Reapers? Yes, double Reaper, double Cyclone, and then we're going to go into Hellions? Second barracks being built as well. It feels to me that Site Delta is a pretty good map for Terran. I've said it a couple of times throughout the night. That is just the first impression I've had. We are way behind schedule, by the way. We're 30 minutes behind schedule. But I think tonight we're not really in a rush, so it should be okay. Not too concerned. Fjant, I think, has a very good idea what he's going up against. That doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. We canceled the reactor there. We went for attack. What? What happened there? Was that a reactor? What happened exactly? I feel like he canceled the reactor and now he's going for attack lab. Maybe he's faking him out, making it seem like it's Mac. Then we go bio. Need to be careful here. There's only 9 links currently at the side of Fjant. So Fjant needs to just buy some time with the queens. Nice micro, breaking those lock-ons relatively quickly. Actually gets a surround on the Cyclone as well. What a hold so far by Fjant, guys. Way less links than in Game 1, but he gets all these units. Ah, that is very sexy play by Fjant. I feel like he had the absolute bare minimum there, and I was actually worried about him losing queens. In the end, he doesn't lose a single queen, and he gets all these units. Ooh, that's a lot of surface area on your tech lab, so that actually means that I think... No, the Lynx cannot get it. It looked like the Lynx were potentially going to be able to get it. Man, this is a very weird wall. It's making me uncomfortable, guys. Everything I see here makes me uncomfortable. If Roddy was a Terran player, this is how I would wall. I would get an eBay like right here, you know? The double coverage. It's a very strange wall. Bailing is going down on the side of Fjant. Fjant obviously has created some freedom for himself. Took care of those Hellions and Cyclones, I think, way quicker than you can normally even dream of as a Zerg. But we've learned one thing about Game 4 is that we can't celebrate too early. Mentioned inexperience a few times. Often when these kids get themselves in good positions, then all of a sudden they stop doing what they would normally do. Where it's like, oh no, I don't want to throw, so I'm not going to build a whole bunch of drones right now. Well, if we would have just droned up a little bit earlier and continued injecting and spreading creep, we would be fine. Obviously, Fjant slowed down, and that kind of allowed FoxeR to get back into the game. FoxeR is going up to 5 barracks. Double drop has potential. Fjant is waiting where to send his Zerglings. Has a couple lings in the main, but that's obviously not enough. Fjant? Don't tell me you don't see that. Oh, this could hurt. These few lings are going to get picked off immediately. There are some lings working on the CC on the other side of the map, but... I mean, the link count should be high enough, but we can take really bad fights against Marines. We definitely don't want to lose the spawning pool either. Fjant is forced to take this fight. It's really not a very pretty fight. What an absolute shame. Fjant had plenty of units, guys, to get ready for this. Takes a bad fight. Great Marine movement, obviously, on the side of FoxeR. And he's not done yet. And Fjant still has no vision of the corner of his main. How is it possible? Oh, there's so many little spots in the main base. Oh, my goodness. And he's sending the units away. He didn't catch the glimpse of it. FoxeR could stim right now and get a whole bunch of drones. And that could potentially turn this entire series on its head. Oh, Fjant. It hurts to see this. But we're going to go for the infestation pit. And that at least is a cancel. And that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I really thought this was going to be a whole lot worse. This is on Europe. We are playing on Europe. We had a coin toss for game 5. And I let FoxeR choose and he lost. What about just an overlord? Like, why don't we have an overlord here and an overlord here? FoxeR didn't even open up with a Viking or a Lib or anything. A Spore would help, but I feel like overlord spread would help a whole lot more. Queen count is at 8. We are spreading some creep towards the top side. This is where FoxeR is going to try to flex some multitasking. Very quick double liberator this time around for FoxeR, who is dropping a 4th CC, so we don't have to worry about 8 racks of 3 bases. Next series, by the way, is a ZVZ though, guys, so that could be a little quicker. Not everything needs to go on for 2 hours tonight. Bailings on creep have potential. 1-1 upgrades. Quick hive by Fjant, guys. Very quick hive. Compared to that previous game where the hive went down around like minute 12. Looks so beautiful. StarCraft 2 graphics. Every now and then I see colors and things on maps that I haven't seen before. This is where we play some Nicki Minaj. Let's go to the beach. Beach. Let's go get away. Say. That's what we used to do, guys, when Roddy was a California boy. Planetary Fortress is being upgraded at the moment as FoxeR snipes 2 veins. Little drop. Very quick Ultralisk Cameron this time around. Yeah, the fact that our man FoxeR already has a couple of Liberators should be great news for him. 111 Zerglings. Currently out on the map for Fjant. He's got 2 upgrades on the way. Maybe FoxeR just feels that these two Marines have been the absolute MVP and he wants to escort them with a double Liberator setup. Can these Banelings connect? FoxeR's multitasking has really been good. Not too many mistakes at all, while often trying to get 2 or 3 attacks going at the same time. Good response. The 2 Marines from earlier, guys, but the medevac does get picked off and these 2 Marines will fall. Fjant thinking about maybe sending all of his links to the other side of the map. Has he even scouted that setup? No, but he knows about it because of the sensor tower. Few Widow Mines. Once more Burrow. Have not seen any Burrow Banelings throughout my entire best of 5. I get a ZVT because I want to see some Burrowed Banelings. Not sure who I can say that I like it for. Obviously, I think it's a very playable game for both, but yeah, FoxeR has got to feel a little bit confident after that great comeback in Game 4, where he just kind of turtled for a little while. But that game was played on the North American server. This is on Europe, so maybe that's going to help Fjant a little bit. Fjant gets a nice surround on all those Marines, and even down 2 upgrades, you're going to be able to clean that part up. That means that we'll never see Rainer again, though, Jeremy. That'd be sad. Rainer will say 1 out of spite, even though in every big series he uses it. Kindness plating is going to finish up, and that's obviously going to be very exciting for Fjant. I kind of want to see a couple of infestors, though, as he's shoving it into a planetary fortress. He does get it this time around. Attacking right before, +2 melee, right before kindness plating. But I guess with that amount of Banelings, while also battling on the left side, it is good enough. Huh. Big pickoff on that base. Temporarily knocks FoxeR back to 3 bases. Yeah, we get the PF, but no building armor this time around. Ooh. Good shot there with the Spore Crawler as well. Is it still Fjant's time then, guys? The young man from Sweden is a 0-5 on the Friday night. Has never won a best of 5. I keep on giving him very tough opponents. But I know that he's been working hard. I know he's been grinding. Is today finally the night that Fjanty boy wins the best of 5 in the Big Brain Bouts. Not too many Banelings in the mix this time around. I get the idea of trying to fight before a PF, but okay, that's actually kind of good if he gets all these SCVs. Good cancel there by FoxeR. Sometimes you see Terran players forget about canceling buildings like that when there's a lot to worry about. Nice little creep highway over here by Fjant. Gonna make his Volvo Zerglings that show up on the other side of the map way quicker. What about some Burrow now then, mate? I don't see a missile turret here. And we have this many Banelings in very good spots. No laser, guys. Nice series so far, yeah. Definitely lived up to what I expected between these two. In my mind, they were very evenly matched with one another. I think Fjant is playing an awesome series, and obviously it takes 2 to tango. Very happy to see these infestors. I think that is needed to really get that additional value out of your very tanky ultras with kindness and +3 carapace finishing up, and even a couple of queens, guys. Shout out to the Gosu user queens from the MLG days a long time ago. Derping a little bit there, but it's okay because there are queens to save the day. A little flashback to the MLG days, where we often had 1 ultra backed up by 12 queens, solo entire Terran armies, and the crowd loved it. One buy is denied, but the Lynx will still get a tank, get a couple buy units, might actually get a command center. Nope, that one does finish up. When is it time to go? 10 seconds before +3 armor is apparently when it's time to go. There is a planetary fortress. Baning count isn't really all that high. Can the Banes connect with the SCVs? Nope, they're kind of going for a tank. Uh-oh. I feel like I've seen this before, guys, where planetary fortresses barely save the day. That was not the hottest attack by Fjant. Misses the fungal too. Does have a Ling run by in the 3rd base as well. Whoa! FoxeR has a crap ton of units stuck in the main base. I guess he raised the depots. I mean, if the fights went bad with all those units stuck in the main, imagine once they all show up. 8 goals right now. Oh, Fjant. Doing all of this, guys, being this aggressive of 78 drones is very risky. Seems like we had a big Widowmine shot there. 8 Zerglings went down. Not that big. Fjant needs to keep on expanding, keep on saturating the neo bases. Like, we have a base in the top right, but there are no drones there. This is a very brave ghost. Taking solo operative to a whole nother level. 7 ultras, and we're gonna try to increase it to 10. Cute little wall off here by FoxeR, but that wall off is gonna get blown up. Baneling stretching into the PF. EMP lands on one of the infestors, the planetary fortress. It's once more happening, guys. The PF gets mass repaired, and Fjant just keeps on attacking. A few banelings short. This was a bad fight by Fjant. And it's important to keep in mind that he doesn't really have a very big bank. I also think FoxeR needs to be careful going this deep on creep. Not sure what that queen is up to. The queen really wanted the infestor. Building armor has now finished up as well. Wasn't even ready for that previous fight. That is a big stim, and these medevacs are out of energy. What about that new upgrade, guys? I feel like if there was ever a moment for FoxeR to get that upgrade, isn't this that moment? What are we doing? Ooh, shocking infestors. Fjant really needs to get a burrowed Zergling here, by the way. Like right now, please burrow 1 Zergling. Okay, or 7. That's fine as well, but this is risky. But let's see. Fjant sees the army moving.
Mutation completed.
No missile turrets at all. Fjant is maxed out. Has a couple of banelings rolling towards that army in the top right. The infestors have on burrow. First Fungo is very good. Ultras get a couple of very big hits off. Infestor at the top left gets picked off though. And it seems that FoxeR has microed his way out of all of those banelings that were heading towards his army on the top side of our screen. FoxeR obviously did lose a lot on the left side. Fjant, did he manage to kill a command center with Zerglings? Seems like it. Fjant killed the CC with Zerglings. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. Do Ultras now burrow faster? Yes, I believe that is a thing. But that went a whole lot better for Fjant as he shows up with a couple of links again, gets on top of SCVs. FoxeR has learned his lesson and he's going to get a couple of missile turrets to detect all these shocking units. I think he killed it. Thought he killed it, but doesn't matter. Take a little look at it. Nice save there on 4 out of 5 the goals, but one of the goals does die. Will this planetary then finally fall? And is that the beginning of the end? Fjant, can we get the PF to fight a few banelings building armor? Fjant finally gets the planetary kill that he's been looking for so damn long. And that should really send him to victory here in the Big Brain Bouts for the first time ever. As he kills 35 SCVs as well. Wouldn't hurt maybe to disengage for a split second, enjoy the great economy, get a few more units, saturate these bases the way you want to saturate your bases as a Zerg. I think it is good enough, guys. I think it's happening. Yep, good job by Fjant. Takes a little look at it. Very proud of the young man. He's made some great progress as he's going to get a surround. A few more fungos should do it, guys. All the previous Fridays, it didn't really work out for the youngster, but he's been playing a lot. He's been getting better. He's been improving. Setting an all-time record for the personal MMR, and I think it shows. More SCVs die, maybe another orbital can die here if it's not going to burn down. We have 2 Ultras going rampage in the natural. 1 more Fungo, a few more Zerglings. It should really be good enough for Team Roddy's Fjant. Finally, tonight is his night. Gets $80 for winning the second best of 5. FoxeR will still get 20. Awesome series between these two. And yeah, what a series, guys. What a series. We are 45 minutes behind schedule. So I'm going to go ahead and settle that prediction quickly. What happened there slowly? Oh. Yeah, thank you for timing that out. Bangers all night today. That is what we go for, mate. Try to make fun, close, competitive StarCraft, and obviously try to give a platform, give a stage to people that don't normally have the chance to perform at this level. Chat was wrong again. 0-6. I can't believe it, guys. 0-6 for Twitch chat. You guys are on the worst streak of your entire life. For as long as I've been streaming and channel point predictions have been a thing. Fjant wins. 37% of the amount of points was wagered on Fjanty Boy. We're going to complete that prediction and immediately start the next prediction.